Welcome back, lovelies. Today we are talking about hair. I've had my Sisterlocks for 4.5 years now. It has been the absolute best hair decision, and I'm gonna share everything you need to know before getting Sisterlocks. Let's hit it, let's get it, let's go. So glad you're here. If you want to look good, feel good, and be great, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay on the sexy, stylish side of YouTube. In this video, I'm gonna answer some of the most common questions I get about my Sisterlocks. Question number 1. What exactly are Sisterlocks? If you're new to this and you're wondering what makes Sisterlocks different from traditional locks or microlocks, we're gonna get into it. Sisterlocks were created in 1993 by Dr. Joanne Cornwell. She was a college professor and a cultural researcher who understood how deeply our hair is tied to identity, self-expression, and liberation, especially for Black women. She built Sisterlocks as a system of empowerment. Sisterlocks are tiny, uniform locks installed using a patented interlocking method, your natural hair, a precision tool, and a trained consultant. Did you hear that? Patented. How many Black hairstyles have we seen trademarked, patented? Okay, this is a big deal. They're super lightweight, versatile, and they work well with your natural texture instead of against it. The company's motto says it all. Sisterlocks is not about a hairstyle, it is a lifestyle. And it is so true. Getting Sisterlocks changed the way that I approach beauty, ease, time, and even my confidence. It's about freedom, it is about defining who you are on your own terms, and for a lot of us, it's about healing. Question number 2, are Sisterlocks the same as microlocks? Short answer, no. Long answer, Sisterlocks and microlocks may look similar from a distance. They're both small, lightweight, versatile, but there are some key differences. Sisterlocks is a trademarked system. This means they're installed using a very specific interlocking method taught by the Sisterlocks company. You have to be trained and certified to do them professionally. And that process is thorough. And not just because of quality control, but because the system itself is rooted in cultural care and empowerment. So it's not DIY friendly unless you've been trained through the official system. Microlocks, on the other hand, are kind of like an umbrella category. Anyone can install microlocks using a variety of methods. Microlocks, you can DIY, find a loctician, you could even transition from twist. They give you that similar small lock look, but with more flexibility in how they're installed. That also means more flexibility in the results. Personally, I chose Sisterlocks specifically because it is a trademarked, patented system. I wanted to support a Black woman's business. I don't know that there's any other, if there's another hairstyle that's gotten to the level where it has been trademarked and patented, I would love to hear about it because I just don't see that a lot. Like Black hair, there's so much innovation, there's so much creativity, and it's important that we protect that. So I love the mission and the purpose behind what the Sisterlocks company has done. Now, I also heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard the person who started microlocks was actually a trained Sisterlocks consultant, and they decided to branch out. Please tell me in the comments if I am wrong, but something about that just didn't sit right with me. I just couldn't get behind that. Other notable differences between the two: precision and uniformity. Sisterlocks are typically neater and more uniform because of the grid pattern and the specialized tool. Cost and time. Sisterlocks are usually going to cost you a pretty penny, and they do take longer to install, but they're also incredibly consistent and easy to style later on. Maintenance. Sisterlocks consultants follow a strict retightening schedule and a process, while microlocks can vary depending on how they were started. Whichever you choose, ultimately the choice is yours. But for me, Sisterlocks was the only option. Number 3, how much do Sisterlocks cost? You definitely want to think of Sisterlocks as an investment, not just in terms of money, but time, patience, and consistency. The installation will usually range anywhere from $500 to over $1,000. And the price will depend on the length of your hair, the thickness of your hair, where you live, and your consultant's level of experience. My loctician was incredible. She's been in the game for over 25 years. I absolutely loved her. I got my installation when I was living in Chicago. So she charged me $900 for my installation, and it took 32 hours over 4 days. I'm not even joking. I had pretty short hair back then too. It was like 7-8 inches, but it was somewhat thick. It's definitely kind of thick. After the installation, you will also have to go in for retightnings. It's usually every 4 to 6 weeks. Again, retightnings are gonna vary. It could be anywhere from $100 to $200 per session, per retightening. But that's gonna depend on how long it takes to retighten and what your consultant's rate is. They'll usually charge an hourly rate for the retightening. So a flat fee for the installation, hourly rate for the retightening. For the first 4 years, I would go every 4 weeks, consistently every single 4 weeks. And my retightening would cost anywhere from $150 to $200. Now I go every 5 weeks, and it still costs me right around $200. And depending on your hair, your retightening schedule might be more frequent while your hair is settling in, and depending on what your consultant thinks your hair needs at that time. This is another thing that I love about Sisterlocks. Because they have a whole system, they have a process in place, they can also change the tightening method depending on how your hair is responding. So I don't know what it was, but when I hit year 3, my hair just started growing like wildfire. And my loctician, she was not happy. I was going to her every single 4 weeks, and she was like, what is going on with your hair? I wasn't happy either because the reties were taking longer, which meant it cost more. So she said, you know what, I'm gonna switch up. We're gonna do a different locking method to make your locks a little bit tighter. And that got me back to having fresh looks for longer periods of time, which I really appreciated. But I will always stand my OG loctician, okay? I'll put her website in the description below. With my new loctician, because I did move away from Chicago, I go to her every 5 weeks, and it does still cost me right around $200. She is able to lock my hair a lot faster. With my former loctician, it took about 3 to 4 hours every session. With my new loctician, I don't know how she does it. It takes her about 2 hours, but as you can see, it's still around $200 because my new loctician has a higher rate. Like in Chicago, there's quite a few Sisterlocks locticians. There's quite a few consultants that you can go to and choose from. So because there's more competition, the rates tend to vary. And I actually think it ends up being a little bit cheaper in bigger cities because of the competition. When you're in a smaller area like Indiana, then that's where you might notice it's a little bit more expensive because they don't have as much time. They can't take on as many clients. And yeah, because they're like probably the only or one of the few people in the area doing Sisterlocks. Question number 4, what is maintenance like? For the first 2 years, I would wash my hair every 2 weeks. I had this Sisterlocks starter shampoo. It's a clarifying shampoo that is meant to help you avoid slippage while still nourishing your hair. It was crazy to me that I never used conditioner. I only recently got back to using conditioner, but my hair never felt dry. It felt so moisturized and so healthy. I would say about 6 months into my locks, I switched to the Sisterlocks green tea shampoo. That one is still a clarifying shampoo, but it does have a little bit more oils to give you a little bit more moisture. Again, did not use conditioner really up until I would say I started using conditioner right around my 4-year anniversary is when I started using conditioner. In the beginning, I also would spray my hair with diluted rose water. I have just come to learn that my hair loves rose water. I just think rose water is one of those elements or whatever the word is that my skin really responds to. And that was pretty much it. It was so low maintenance and I really appreciated that. Once my hair was fully locked, it wasn't an intentional decision to switch to washing it every 3 to 4 weeks. It just kind of happened based on my life. But I used the TGIN, their rose water hydrating shampoo, and conditioner. I started using the conditioner because I was on Zepbound, and a lot of you may already know this. I have started an intentional weight loss journey. My goal isn't to not be plus size, it's just to be a smaller plus, because as we know, there are levels to this, and I just want things to be accessible to me. I want the life that I would like to have to be accessible. I'll link to that video below if you want more information on why I decided to go on a weight loss journey and what I'm doing to lose weight. But one of the side effects of Zepbound can be hair loss. If you don't know, the weight loss drugs function a little bit like weight loss surgery without the surgery. So you can still have some similar side effects from surgery, like not as many, none of the more severe side effects, but the one about hair loss. And that just has to do with the way that your body is absorbing protein at that time. You're not eating as much, so you're not getting as much protein, which your hair needs. So, you know, we fought for this. We weren't about to lose our hair, okay? But I started to notice my hair was getting incredibly dry. Like I would touch it and I could just feel it being dry. And I was like, no, we're stopping this in its tracks right now. So I switched to TGIN, the Rosewater Hydrating Shampoo and Conditioner, and I started taking Mary Ruth's liquid vitamin. One thing about the vitamin that really stood out to me is I saw women of all backgrounds swearing by this vitamin, saying that it has helped their hair grow so much thicker, longer. It looks healthier. My mom, so I got her on it about 2 months ago. It's helped with her edges, like thickening out her edges. So I've been on it for about 4 months, and it's kind of insane the number of people in just the last 4 months who have talked about how long my hair has gotten. They're like, oh my gosh, your hair has just grown so long. And I'm like, has it, what is it? Okay, it's working. It must be working. Beyond washing it, I really don't do a lot to my hair. Low manipulation of my 4C hair really was the tea, okay? That was all I needed to do. That was the key to my growth. I just need to stop fidgeting and stop touching it, stop messing with it, and let her blossom all on her own. Question number 5. How long will it take my hair to lock? It depends, and I usually hate that answer, but this is just one of those things. You're just gonna, that is the answer. You're gonna have to take it, because your locking journey is deeply personal. It depends on so many things. Depends on your hair type, how you're taking care of it. My loctician, she would tell me stories of some of her clients who in the beginning, they just could not get, they kind of treated their sister locks like traditional locks. So they felt like they needed to put a whole bunch of oils and creams. That's like the worst thing you can do with sister locks, because it weighs down the hair. It makes it dirtier quicker, and it causes a lot of slippage. So how long it takes your hair to lock is going to depend on how you care for it and your hair type. But there is a process that you can look forward to and expect with sister locks. Let's break it down. When your sister locks are first installed, they're not fully locked yet. I mean, you could still, after an installation, go wash them and they'd be fine, but they're not locked. So, right, they've used this interlocking method to kind of tie the hair together, but the internal lock structure has not happened. So here's how the phases typically go. Phase number 1, this is the starter stage. It's called pre-locking. Your hair's installed, everything's great. It's neat, grid-like, lightweight. It's really hard. It's a little hard to notice. Phase number 2, the budding phase, I immediately recognize this phase. I don't know how it is with traditional locks, but with sister locks, your hair does not lock from the root to the tip. That's what you would assume. It actually locks from the tip to the root. I don't know how to describe it. It's like your hair is just beginning to lock. Your hair is like, okay, this is what we're doing now. This is our structure. And it'll eventually start to look like this. There's just like a little puff at the end. And I also think this is kind of the phase, I think, when your hair starts to grow. So you'll start to feel like little, like tiny knots or little buds at the ends of your hair. And some people say this usually happens like 3 to 6 months in. Maybe that was the case. I feel like for me, it didn't really start happening until I was a year in. You might also see a little bit of frizziness. That did happen to me. My loctician, she always had something to say about how frizzy my hair was looking, but it was doing its job and she was doing her job. All very normal things. Phase number 3, this is when it's now locking and it's like maturing. Most people's hair will lock somewhere between 12 and 24 months. Again, it does depend on your texture, how you care for it, but that doesn't mean that you're just like waiting around to do things. I mean, your locks are evolving, they're thickening. You can still style your hair as you wish. By this stage, your routine is probably more relaxed, you're into a groove, and the locks are getting their personality. I got one lock up here. Where is Tina? Because my loctician, my hair at one point is this one right here. Oh no, here it is. Here she is. Look at little Tina. My hair at one point was getting so thick, especially around the edges, that my loctician had to start creating new locks. Like all around my edges, she would have to start creating new locks. So she was always sticking up and sticking out. And I still have some that are short because they had to be started. Like this one right here, this is a new lock. Look how short she is. So she'll be sticking up and messing up my photos, messing up my videos, but we love her, okay? She's a little special. We love her. Y'all, I forgot to mention phase 4. Phase 4 is called contracting. This is when your locks are airtight. They're pretty consistent throughout, fairly solid when you touch them. That's it. Nothing too crazy. And now back to our regularly scheduled video. Now, if your hair is relaxed or it's heat damaged, you can still get it sister locked, but the journey is going to take you a little bit longer. It's going to require a little bit more patience. The important thing is that your consultant needs to be able to work with some of your roots. So you want to let your relaxed hair grow out a little bit more before you just go get sister locks. I had natural 4C hair for about 10 years before I decided to get sister locks. When I got my installation, my loctician told me that I had split ends, which I did not realize, but she couldn't lock the split ends. And she was like, do you want me to cut them? You want me to leave them? I was like, no, I don't want to lose any length. Please leave them. My first week, I ended up cutting the split ends off anyway because I couldn't run my fingers through my hair. Like the split ends were literally tangling together and they were dead anyway. So I was like, girl, just cut them. Just let them go. Let them be free. Release them. As for how long it took my hair to lock, some people say if you have 4B, 4C hair, which I have 4C hair, they're like, oh, you'll be locked in 6 months. I have 4C hair and I'm telling you, it took me 2 to 3 years before my hair fully locked. So if your hair is looser, like it's 3C, it could take longer. Oh, let me do a little side note, a little side story here. The way that I came across Sisterlocks, because I had never heard of them, I was looking on Facebook, which I'm like almost never on Facebook, but it was a girl who I went to like church with, and we grew up, we went to elementary school together, and we didn't really keep in touch like that, but I saw a picture of her and I was like, girl, what is your hair? What is this? Because I'd always been interested in locks, but I was like, I don't know if I want to go through that awkward phase. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. So when I saw her hair, I was like, please tell me everything about this hairstyle right now. She messaged me back, told me everything. Her hair did take much longer to lock because she has 3C, like 3B hair. So it's a little finer. It's a little like, it's not as thick. But I had that one little conversation with her. I looked up a few videos on YouTube. It wasn't much out there at that time. Maybe there's more videos now. But I had my consultation booked in a month. And after that consultation, I had my install booked the following month. I jumped on the Sisterlocks train immediately because I was so frustrated with how my hair had not grown over the last 10 years. I was so frustrated with like how I couldn't style it. Like waking up every morning felt like such a chore. And I feel like, you know, it's interesting how now that I have Sisterlocks, I look back and I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's some things you could have done to better manage your 4C hair, but you don't know what you don't know. And I was already on the Sisterlocks train. I was like, we're not going back. This is my decision. This is what I would like to do. And I think I'm gonna love it. And I have truly enjoyed having Sisterlocks. It has made my life very different. And even if your hair does take longer to lock, I didn't feel like it limited me. I was still able to wake up, go, styled it however I wanted. The only thing that was different was how I washed my hair and the products that I used. I already went over the products. Before my hair fully locked, I had to plait it into groups of like 30 to 40 locks before washing it. I would definitely do this around the edges of my hair too. This was a suggestion that my loctician made, and it was to help avoid slippage. Instead of one strand taking on all of the water, you had a group of strands bearing the weight of the water. You can also let your hair dry when it's in those plaits, and then it'll give it like a really cute wavy look. I washed my hair plaiting it for over 3 years, like 3.5 years, plaited it every single time I was getting ready to wash it. And when my loctician was like, you know what, I think you can wash it like without plaiting it, I said, what? That was just such a good feeling to wash my hair without having to braid it and just feel the water in my hair, feel it on my shoulders. Love that. In short, you have to trust the process and be patient. Everyone's hair is different and you're gonna have your own timeline and your own story. Question number 6. How do you get started? If you want to get started, the best place to go is Sisterlocks.com. You can find a consultant or a trainee on their website and book a consultation. Consultants are going to have more experience, and because of that, they're going to cost more. Trainees are in the process. They've been given the green light to start doing installations, but they're still learning. They don't have as much experience, but that also means that they're not going to cost as much. A trainee may cost closer to $500, $600. A consultant is probably going to cost closer to $1,000. But in your initial consultation, they should answer any and all questions that you have, and they'll even do some test locks in the back of your hair. This is really good because it gives you an idea of what the locks are going to look like and how they're going to feel, and then it gives your consultant an idea of what size you would like. There's different sizes to Sisterlocks. I think I got medium, but having them do the test locks helps them see what's going to be the best interlocking method, what's going to be the best size based on how your hair is, like the hair texture. And then it gives you an idea of what it's gonna look like, what it's gonna feel like. Once you're ready to move forward, together you'll choose a day, or 4, as in my case, for your installation. I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not be in front of this camera online posting videos if I had not gotten Sisterlocks. And it's not because I didn't like my 4C hair, it was honestly just the amount of maintenance. Like, a big thing with being a content creator is consistency, and having to wake up and figure out how to style my hair, manipulate it, do all this on top of having a full-time job, which I still have. It was gonna be a lot. So getting Sisterlocks really worked wonders on my confidence, because I never had, like, in my entire life, my hair has never been this long. And this isn't even like long, but that's the thing, like, it just boosted my confidence. It made me more productive. It made my life more efficient. I cannot stress how happy I am with this decision. Are you thinking of getting Sisterlocks? What is holding you back? What other questions do you have? Let me know in the comments below. I know we talked about hair today, but if you're looking to elevate your style, I encourage you to grab my new book, The Plus Size Brand Bible. It is a shopping guide filled with information on 225 brands. Things like pros, cons, price range, size range, and so much more. Hundreds of girlies have already gotten their copy, and it is changing the way that they shop. It is changing the way that they feel about themselves. It brought me so much joy, and I hope it does the same for you. Check the description below for links and details on everything you saw in this video, including this dress, because she's cute. And grab your copy of the Plus Size Brand Bible today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, lovelies, bye.